Bună seara, sunt Mihai Hurezeanu, doamnelor și domnilor, și vă invit să continuăm edițiile speciale dedicate brandului și berăriilor Ursus, proiectelor inovatoare de business și comunitare la Cluj ale acestora. Acest brand iubit este profund ancorat în istoria și cultura orașului. Berea nu este doar alături de semințe și cârnați liantul unei culturi virile care adoră fotbalul, mașinile și femeile sexy. În sudul Valah a fost un revelator, un elixir al adevărului condiției românești în opera celui mai mare dramaturg român, Ioan Luca Caragiale. Mai la nord, în zona noastră a Europei Centrale, în Transilvania, berăriile au fost întotdeauna instituții ale societății civile, inspirând o gravitate aulică și noblețe, credincioasă rădăcinilor sale fabuloase, boemiene. Berea a fost și este un catalizator al artelor, al festivalurilor, carnavalului, bucuriei colective împărtășite. Ursus, regele berii în România, este acum în portofoliul Sub Miller, unul din giganții mondiali ai berii. Sub acoperirea alibiului cinic al globalizării, multinaționalele iau decizii de management la mii de kilometri distanță de locul unde cei vizați sunt afectați de dislocare socială sau de amărăciunea șomajului. Ursus însă nu ne oferă doar un paliativ răcoros, ci și politici și strategii implicate în comunitate și animate de conceptul de responsabilitate socială corporatistă. Invitatul meu, Grant McKenzie, vicepreședinte de marketing strategic la Ursus Breweries, este din nou invitatul meu. Mr. McKenzie, Vice President for Marketing, Ursus Breweries is back, Beer Fest is back. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mihai. Nice to be here.
How are you?
I'm very good.
I was saying in my headlines that beer is today not just the fuel for a culture of men stunned by sexy cars or women, but I think it's also, we should talk about this now today. It's like we are witnessing a resurgence of a culture of beer, refined culture of beer, some sort of connoisseurship. You know, there are a lot of people all over the world are very enthralled by this passion for beer. For not just, after all, somebody said, after all, beer just not just get us drunk, but also makes us think, no? Because beer is there are exchange of recipes, and something is very akin to it has its magic and mystery. And
this is true. Someone actually said that beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. And obviously we kind of like to think of it that way. Beer has been around, I think, since the ancient Egyptian times. So it's been part of the social fabric of communities for thousands of years.
So you had this wonderful experiment in Cluj, beer. You had a beer contest and beer made in the community and drunk by the community. Now tell us about it.
Yeah, well, we invited some Cluj people to come and choose the beer that they wanted to be made in the mini brewery. It's very important to us that it was chosen by them. I can tell you that we had many willing volunteers for the task of tasting and choosing the beer, but just over 100 people we selected in the end, and they were led through the process by our master brewer. And of course I'm unsurprised to report that the Cluj people chose, in our opinion, the best and of course the most expensive recipe that was on offer. It's a fantastic recipe with a lot of complexity in terms of the type of malt that's used and also the gravity of the finished product. So I think, to be honest, they're going to be very happy with what we make.
So the beer, not just wine, we are used with wine as engendering around it like a culture of those wine tasting feasts, and it's about finesse and culture. But the beer also has features that are combined, concur to make a sensorial complete experience. No, I mean it has certain taste, color features.
Yes, I mean
you have to taste the hop, the malt, even the yeast, no?
That's right. You can also taste, there are wheat beers as well on the market. So you have a few ingredients, this is true, but the complexity within the ingredients is high. For example, this morning in the mini brewery, I tasted what's called caramel malt. And this was almost like a dessert. You had these malt pieces, they were actually lovely to taste. They have quite a rich caramel taste. I then tasted pale malt, which tastes very different. much more balanced in taste. There are other malts like Munich malt, which some of these will be going into the unfiltered product we produce in Cluj, which are actually darker, more heavy, more richer, more like a coffee flavour. So there's high complexity in the malt. Then in the hops also, which is used to provide bitterness, there are also many varieties of hops and types of hops. So beer is a living and complex product, and very exciting one, I think.
So what are the stages right now of building the facility, the mini brewery facility? And there will be an open one, will function also like some sort of interactive museum, so people, visitors, tourists will be able to see the brewing process. Yeah,
so I mean right now as we speak, we're actually in the stage of testing and developing the first beer, so it will be ready for consumption in a couple of weeks, but we're actually up and running making the first beer now, which is really, really exciting. The other part of the facility, which is the bar and the restaurant area, is still in finalizing stage. I think we're about 2.5 weeks from completion, so it's very close now, but it's exciting for us.
About your re-emergence on the city stage, now that the summer is coming, there is also all the historical landmark in the main square, historical square of the city, in the northern edge of this. It's about Ursus Brewery again, Ursus Berăria Ursus. This is a landmark building. It's very interesting that some people in Cluj might remember this few houses. Among them is also your building where you opened this brewery. Used to be like 16th century. They have a lot of elements of Renaissance elements, sculpture, frescoes, beautiful frescoes, door cases, sculpted door cases. And the first 5 buildings were also they were inhabited by merchants and traders, but sometimes when after they unloaded their merchandise, they have these lofts in the shape of an A, and these lofts served also for street theater. So it's an old tradition of entertainment, of urban entertainment that you can reconnect with. Like we know the lofts are now very popular and associated with beer fests all over, from Brooklyn to Berlin, Amsterdam, Copenhagen. So what are your plans for this location? Well,
we're calling it, as you say, Berăria Ursus. It's an amazing place. I visited a couple of weeks ago, and as you go in, the first part of the building, you actually have some very old frescoes on the wall, some paintings, and these are in the process of being reconstructed to bring out their former colour. So that's going to be a room of history, if you like, so you'll be able to sit and enjoy that. The second part will be the main bar, so we'll have the main bar area with all the seating, and then finally we'll have an area where there will be some tables where you can pour your own draft beer from the table. Of course, there will be some kind of monitor on that so that we can assess how much you've been drinking, but it's going to be really cool. This place will be open as well in about 2 to 3 weeks, so it's really looking very nice, and we wanted it to be a kind of 3-age location, so taking the historic part, the traditional part, and then finally the most modern part at the back, so that it's like moving through the ages with Ursus.
As you brew the best beer in Romania, the king of beer, as you say, this will be the crown of a whole network of partnership, I understood, around the city or the historical center of the city. Now you'll have partnership with different pubs.
Yes, I mean the idea of the mini brewery was to produce the special beer, which is fresh, so it must be drunk within a few days.
Because it's unpasteurized, we have to remind you.
And it will only be available in Cluj for that reason. And we'll supply 8 to 10 of the best-selling Ursus locations in the city centre where you can enjoy this product. So we think this is something unique. In SAB Miller, globally, nothing like this exists. So for us, it's a first. Romania's a pioneer, which we're really proud about, and we're proud that it's happened in Cluj. So we hope that we do something really special. We're pretty determined.
We just got the news in the film by Terrence Malick, The Tree of Life, got the Grand Prix, the Grand Prize at Cannes Film Festival. We know the Tree of Life can be watered sometimes by beer also. No? So you have a very powerful partnership with the most important cultural arts event in the city, TIFF, Transylvania International Film Festival. It's the 3rd year, you're going to be the main sponsor of this event. It's going to be the 10th edition. the festival. What you were talking about 360 media concept of.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually, this will be the third year, but I'm happy to say that we've also signed for the next 2 years as well. So, I mean, we want to be part of this program. We think it's a great thing for Cluj, but actually much broader than that for Romania. It's by one of the biggest,
most important in Southeast Europe.
Yeah, it's a great festival. So for us today, actually, we'll start being some posters put around Cluj of our campaign, which was inspired by a great film, Forrest Gump. You've seen that. So we've tried to make a Cluj version of Forrest Gump, and our message is that anyone, any moment can be the inspiration for making film. But in addition to that, we've got a whole load of tactical activities. We're having a special Ursus party on the 4th of June.
The opening gala?
Yeah, which we hope will be in the Berăria Ursus. In addition to that, we have a few stunts. For example, we're sending some guy around on a bicycle with a camera to take film of all of the events which are happening in Cluj, and that will be broadcast in our pubs as a kind of endorsement of the TIFF festival. We'll have the outdoor area in Piața Unirii again, so that people can enjoy the films there. So I mean, we're also supporting, of course, the Best Newcomer Award once again. So really, it's for us a big intense activity. We also do a lot of things in the trade, so in the supermarkets, shops and bars. We promote TIFF and we promote Ursus, so quite a lot of stuff going on for TIFF.
So you'll be also the MC of the party time.
Well, I think I'll
that during the festival.
Delegate that to some of the younger members of my team, but yes, definitely.
There were some snobs saying in times that beer in movies usually is associated with B movies. It was a pun, but as I said earlier, this resurgence in the arts of crafting beer and interest in it also spawned a whole genre of movie called so-called documentary. Documentaries, documentaries in which people are searching more novel and original ways of brew beer or search for the best brew.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trend, to be honest. People are rediscovering what beer is, and actually beer has as much variety, even more some would say, than wine. It's a great social drink, so beer was always designed for everyday people. Now some people might think that makes it not so good. From my perspective, I think that makes it great, because it's something that's for everyone, and I think everyday people should be allowed to enjoy the variety of drinks. Plus it's local, so beer has always been and will remain, in our opinion, predominantly about local brands and about local taste.
Very robust fuel for real popular and good entertainment, good fun.
It's a social drink.
Popular fun.
It's a social drink, and when the weather's like it is at the moment, which I hope it continues, when it's warm, it's a great refreshment.
It said that among the 10 top ads, for example, Super Bowl in the United States of America, are beer ads. So the beer makers are the major players in strategic advertisement, very creative advertising. They spend lots of money, great deal of money on it, and there are great storylines. Many of these ads.
Yes, I mean, for us,
you have your own interesting
we have
narratives.
Our own. Ursus has its own story to tell, of course, and we try and tell that story in a compelling and interesting way. And there'll be more stories, coming soon. But I mean, beer advertising is famous around the world because it's local. So the great thing about beer is you don't try and make Germans or British or French entertained by your marketing. You try and entertain Romanians only, so you can actually be much more insightful.
So it's implicated with the lore or the urban folklore of the place.
Sure, and it's very cultural.
I was telling also in the introduction, Grant, that of course we know we live in an age of turmoil. The multinational companies are closing. They take decisions very far removed from the places where these decisions are felt by people. There is a sorrow of unemployment. But I was saying that Ursus doesn't just offer this fresh therapy and palliative therapy for these ills, but Ursus is very involved in the coming back to the community along a model of corporate social responsibility, and getting back to the community didn't just leave behind it a wasteland. in Cluj. So about this involvement with community programs, about these corporate policies, what can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, for us, Cluj is very important. It's the home of our flagship brand, the brand that became in many people's eyes the best Romanian beer, the king of beer in Romania. It's only natural to us to maintain a presence here. So what we've been doing is supporting a number of initiatives. For example, the Cluj Days. Last month, some of us, including me, joined in the Cluj Marathon, and we went running, and we raised money for some Cluj entrepreneurs, a special society. Last Friday...
so you donated an amount of money for, I understood, every mile?
Every kilometre, yes. We received some donations, and whatever we received, we doubled it. So myself and my colleagues ran around getting sweaty, which we thought was for a good cause.
Also supporting this young entrepreneur program.
Right, yes. And then last Friday we the university announced the student support program, so we support 10 students throughout the year. They receive some money every month. The students are awarded on the basis of their academic results and potential, as well as local work with the community and non-government organisations. So these students were selected by the university people, but Ursus provides a bursary for a whole year for 10 of them.
And we have to mention that this beer is not for, these scholarships are not for drinking beer, but for studying.
That's
and drinking
the intention.
Responsibly. Yeah.
Correct. And we're also sponsoring the Christmas and New Year lights and celebrations in Cluj. So I mean, to be honest, we have a whole year program in Cluj, one of the biggest we've had.
Yeah, what is the budget this year that Ursus is investing in film festival?
Well, some of that information is confidential. We don't want our competitors to know it.
Yeah.
But if you take the investment in TIFF, the investment in the mini brewery, the investment in all of the corporate programs, it runs well over €1 million. So it's quite significant. The next big event is in June, which is a music festival as well. So towards the end of June, there'll be the next big event.
So this is a surprise after the Days of the City,
yes.
The film festival. You also preparing something for us, a beautiful surprise for the days of the summer solstice.
Yes.
Around 21st, no?
25th.
25th of June.
Yeah.
We call it in Romania Day of Sânzienelor. It's a very old holiday.
Okay.
Folk holiday.
Yes, so we're kicking off right in the centre of town will be something called Ursus Evolution. And this is a kind of movement we're starting about the evolution of Romanian music, from rock through hip-hop, and also from some new acts, from new bands which are coming. So actually we wanted to promote that and start, of course, in Cluj. It will go nationally, but it will start here. And I think it's going to be something really quite special. So
not quite a rave, but it will be an interesting educational.
Well, I think it's great fun. It's great
about music.
Great music, supporting Romanian music, trying to encourage the next generation to provide bands which perhaps we haven't heard of, or not everybody's heard of today, with a platform to express themselves. And that's, I think, something Ursus could do very well.
Yeah. Also, you have some plans for understood for the former employees. If you prepare some kind of training programs for them?
Obviously we have a full program for them. Obviously we're supporting many of them with finding another place to work. Some of them where possible we're relocating within Ursus breweries, either in the mini brewery or on other sites. But they're given full assistance and training in order to move forward. Mm-hmm. For the mini brewery, we're preparing something for them, and obviously they will have some special beer rights in the mini brewery.
Yes, and you have also early training program for the new mini brewing process.
Yes, that's right. So the people who operate the mini brewery are former employees. Who were very skilled people anyway, but they're being retrained to operate quite different machinery, because this is much more manual, much more by hand.
Handicraft.
Yeah, so you have much smaller sizes and batches, so things have to be done by hand. So they've been trained, actually as we speak now, they're being trained by the specialists. So it's exciting for them too, I think.
Great. What can you tell us about the other partnerships, local partnerships with local companies you have in these works you're undertaking?
Well, obviously, almost all the suppliers are from Cluj. So we have the construction company from Cluj. We have some media and PR companies from Cluj.
Some design, I understood, also.
Yeah, we have a local design agency. We also, are obviously cooperating with local bar owners to help us set up the mini brewery unfiltered beer distribution. So virtually everyone who's involved in the project is from Cluj. So many companies, many people. It's only natural. At the end of the day, we need people based here who have the local insights.
Yes. So what are the main storylines you have for developing this new? Can you tell us some secrets about your media planning, about your next evolution, marketing?
Well, obviously, I don't want to let the competitors know too much, but I think it's clear that our priority this year is to support the development of the mini brewery and Berăria Ursus. So we have extensive plans in place throughout the year, from now until the end of the year, to support that. We also have some corporate support programs, so supporting the local authorities with, for example, the Cluj Days, the Christmas and New Year celebrations, and various other points.
So you're involved in the life of our community the whole year, the whole long year.
Yes, and next year we will come back and run again, maybe further, in the Cluj Marathon. So for us it's pretty important to
advising our viewers, of course, at the end of our program, to drink responsibly, with joy but responsibly. I thank you very much for your presence. It's always a pleasure. We have Grant Mackenzie, Vice President of Ursus Breweries. O seară bună tuturor!